Hey, it's Heidi from A Lively Hope, and we are continuing on with our watercolor basics series. We've got our watercolor paper, our praying watercolors, a water jar, and a medium paintbrush. And today we're also going to use a white crayon. We're going to be doing something super fun called resist. It's going to be a little tricky to see because obviously this is a white crayon on white paper, but I'm drawing a flower. You could draw whatever you want. And if you remember from last time, we're going to go over the lines 2 times to make them a little bit thicker and to make the wax stand out on the paper a little bit more. The wax from your crayon is going to cause a resist effect on the paper. That means that the watercolor won't stick where the crayon is, and so it will leave the white paper showing underneath. So I'm just doing like a little bouquet of flowers. I'm making some leaves and some flowers, and you can kind of see it. I'll try to show you once I'm done drawing how it looks. So yeah, just going through and drawing a few different kinds of flowers and trying to push pretty hard with my white crayon so that the paper is nice and coated with the wax where I am drawing. So I'm adding some more leaves, I'm adding veins and other details to the leaves. Again, going over each line 2 or 3 or even 4 times to make it so that the wax is really strong in those places. So I like flowers, so I chose to draw flowers. You could draw whatever you want. You could draw your pet animal. You could draw a tree. You could draw some candy. You could draw a silly person. You can draw whatever you want with this white crayon. Once we're done with that, we're going to go over the top with watercolor and you'll see the magic of resist. There are other supplies that you could use for this, but I figured you probably already have a white crayon at your house, so that's why we chose to use this today. It might be kind of fun for you to guess in your mind what you think this drawing is going to look like, and then as I paint over the top of it, you can see if you're right. Okay, now I'm done with the drawing, and as I tilt the paper, you can kind of see what those flowers look like. I've got a few different kinds of leaves and 2 different kinds of flowers. And now comes the very fun part. I'm just going to grab whatever color I want. I chose to do green over the top of these leaves, a couple types of green to blend together. You can see as I go over the top where the crayon was, the paint isn't sticking in that spot. So then I'm going to choose what color I want the flowers to be and all the other kinds of leaves and other decorations that I have here. And you'll notice when I do this and when you do this, sometimes the water, sometimes the resist works better than others. It's a little bit unpredictable, just like watercolor is. And that's kind of part of the fun, to just learn about how this technique works and play around with it a little bit. And then the next time you try it, you might be a little bit better at it. Isn't that fun to see how the water reacts to the crayon? It's kind of like a hidden message. And as the paint dries, the white resist will show up even better. So you'll notice that the first things I've done as the paint is starting to dry there, it looks better. So just keep at it, fill in your whole page, and just see what our little magic trick does. This is a fun way you could like write a note to somebody. You could write a thank you note and then have them paint over the top of it to see what your note says. You could use this for any number of things. And once you get going, it's kind of addicting. It's really fun to do. So yeah, that is wax resist or crayon resist. I can't wait to see what you make. So we'll finish this up. Oops, see how my paint bled a little bit there? That's okay. Grab a napkin and dab your color off the top if you need to. And then just wait a little bit before you paint that section. That happens to me a lot. So, all right, now I'm almost done here. I'll finish up and then you get to have your turn. I can't wait to see what you make. I decided to fill in my background. I really like to have the whole page filled in if I can. I feel like that makes my artwork look more complete. So, of course, that's optional for you. But I just really like the look of it. So I decided to do a blue background, blue and greenish. And then that will be the end. Happy painting. And this is how it looks once it's all dry. You can see the resist a little bit better. The white stands out a little bit more once the paper's all dry. Happy painting!